Okay, let's jump right in. Welcome everyone to the deep dive. Today we're zeroing in on a pretty specific piece of legislation that just passed the Senate. It's S.32. The official name is the Local Access to Courts Act. You might see it called LACA.
That's right. And our plan today is pretty straightforward. Look at the actual bill text, figure out exactly what it changes, and maybe more importantly, sort of explore why these changes matter.
Because they seem small, right, but they could actually have a real impact.
Absolutely. When you look at the source, the bill itself, its purpose is really focused. It's not trying to overhaul huge parts of the law or anything. Its main goal really is just to clarify where federal courts can physically hold sessions, specifically in certain districts in Texas and California.
Right, and that where can be a big deal. For you listening, particularly if you're anywhere near these places, this isn't just, legal jargon. It could genuinely affect how easy it is to access the federal court system, like bringing the courthouse door a bit closer.
Exactly. So let's unpack how it does that. The Act amends Title 28 of the U.S. Code, which deals with the judiciary. Two main changes. First up, Texas. It modifies Section 124B2. Now that sounds technical, I know.
Yeah, sounds a bit dense. What does it actually do?
It's surprisingly simple on the page. It literally just adds the words "and College Station" right near the end of that subsection.
That's it, just "and College Station."
That's the text change. But the effect is that College Station is now officially listed as a place where court may be held for the Southern District of Texas, Houston Division. It gives statutory backing for holding court there, an option that wasn't explicitly spelled out before.
Interesting. Just adding a location to the list. Okay, so let's shift over to California then. Similar story there.
Very similar, yes. The Act also amends Section 84 of the same title, Title 28. This section deals with the Southern District of California, and here it inserts the words "and El Centro" right after the existing text mentioning court being held at San Diego.
Okay, so again, just slotting in a new place name. El Centro gets added to the list of potential court locations for that district.
Precisely. So you have College Station in Texas, El Centro in California, both added as places where federal court proceedings can potentially happen.
And the why behind this seems pretty clear then. It's about access, right? Physical access.
Absolutely. Think about it for people living in or near College Station or El Centro, having to travel maybe quite far to the previously listed locations like Houston or San Diego. That's a potential barrier. It costs time, it costs money, you might need time off work, childcare, all those practical things.
Yeah, things that can really discourage participation, whether you're a juror, a witness, maybe even someone filing a case or needing to appear.
This legislation essentially says, okay, we recognize that distance is an issue. Let's make it legally possible to hold court closer to these communities.
It lowers that barrier.
Right. And it's key to remember the languages may be held. It doesn't mandate court sessions there every day. It just provides the option, the flexibility for the courts to decide based on, caseloads, efficiency, community needs.
Gives them another tool in the toolbox, so to speak.
Exactly.
And just to ground this in time, this isn't just a proposal floating around. S.32 actually passed the Senate back on February 12th, 2025. So it's moved forward in the legislative process.
Correct. So to just quickly recap what we've covered, the Local Access to Courts Act, S.32, makes these very targeted changes. It adds College Station, Texas, and El Centro, California as potential locations for federal court sessions in their districts. The whole point seems to be improving physical access to the federal court system for people in those areas.
Okay, so that brings us to our final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. This act, S.32, targets just two specific towns. But think bigger for a second. How many other places across the country might have similar access issues, where the nearest federal courthouse is hours away? And, does adding court locations like this, maybe one or two at a time through laws like LACA, fundamentally change how people interact with the justice system? Does it make justice feel closer, more attainable?
It's a really interesting question. It touches on geography, fairness, and how our legal system adapts to where people actually live, something definitely worth considering.